Court in Banjul keeps anti-government protesters in remand as it decides on bail conditions. The outbreak of the coronavirus may affect Nigeria's trade with China. Food vendors point out obstacles as a major market in the Kanifing municipality. These and more stories coming on the World Today. Do stay tuned. It's 1700 as GMT here in our studios in Banjul. You are watching the World Today. Today's bulletin on iAfrica TV. I am your presenter, Jul Denjai, and now the news in detail. Sheikh Aliu Seka, Alcalo of Kermot Ali, Tuesday discussed the difference that the legal sector practices brought between the people of his village during his testimony before the Truth-Seeking Commission. He said the villagers who did not follow the self-proclaimed region by the Sheikh Muhammad Habibullah Seka encountered difficult moments leading to their departure from the village. Details of that in this report.
The Alcalo of Kermot Hale testified in connection to the chaos brought about Sheikh Muhammadu Habibullah Seka, known as Nigal, in the village. In his testimony before the TRRC, the Alcalo explained that the Ndigal religious practice caused difference between its followers and the villagers. He stated that the people who did not follow the Ndigal practice were not allowed to stay in peace in the village, which resulted to some of them fleeing the community.
This is what I responded to you, that there were some who did not accept his leadership. And it was a result of that they had a problem which led to those individuals who did not follow him to leave the village. And these are these two individuals I named here. These two I mentioned, their children are in the village, and if you ask them, they will tell you.
He further testified that Ndigal and his followers claim to be practiced in Islam when they actually do not observe the 5 pillars of the religion.
The religion that we knew, which he was a part of, when prayer time comes, you go to the mosque and pray the 5 daily prayers. When there also a need for you to give out charity, you give it out. When it's time to go for the pilgrimage to Mecca, you embark on the pilgrimage. When Ramadan comes, you fast until sunset before you drink. Those are the things that we knew to be a part of Islam.
According to the village head, when Ndigal was arrested, there were discussions initiated between the regional authorities and the Ndigal sect to bring about peace in the village. But Ndigal's representative refused to comply with the reconciliation process. Reporting for Africa News, I am Amadou Kante.
From that TRRC report there by Amadou Kante, we head to Nigeria, because as China's closest allies, Nigeria's economy is likely to be affected by the coronavirus because several businesses in the country depend on trade with China. The increase in death toll in China due to the killer virus and its spread to the thousands will compel Africa to close its borders for anything Chinese until a way out is found about the health disaster. Details of that in this report.
Chinedu Chiazo is a known importer of fabrics in the popular Wuse market in Nigeria's capital, Abuja. He's been in the business for over 2 decades. He's been able to grow his business from a startup of less than $100. Now he purchases goods worth over $30,000 from China and makes an average 5 trips yearly. But that would change now following the outbreak of the coronavirus.
When you are alive and healthy, that you can do investments. But then for those of us that our business for now depends in China, It's going to be much setback. It's going to affect trade for this year.
There are several businesses like Chinedu's here that are largely dependent on imports and trade from China, so many would be seeking alternatives.
It is better this time to send money across so that they can load the goods for you, especially if you have good and competent hands over there. But if you don't have, like I said, the most important thing is to be alive. So you cannot risk it.
Currently, China accounts for 15% of the global GDP, with many more countries depending on its thriving market. Many fear that the coronavirus outbreak would cause fatalities as well as impact negatively on the world economy if quick, effective interventions are not implemented to contain the virus. China is Nigeria's closest ally and most important trading partner. Trade volume between both countries run into billions of dollars, so Nigeria may be one of the worst hit.
What you experience is that for Nigeria, in bringing of goods from foreign countries, particularly those of us dealing with Chinese economy and being partners with China, we have a lot of challenges. More so that some of those goods, there is no immediate competitiveness or competition or alternative from which we can get them. So you might see increase in prices because so many persons may be demanding for goods because supply side may reduce while demand remains the same or increase.
Many here are now urging global leaders to work with China to conquer the menace of the coronavirus in order to save lives and economies from crumbling.
From Nigeria, of course, we head back home because market vendors in the Kanifi municipality are visibly frustrated by non-market price control, saying that is causing serious setback on their businesses on daily basis as they hardly make profit. The vendors, who are now calling on the government to come to their aid and control the prices of goods and services in the country, said there is indiscriminate pricing in the market. Amifai has more details of that story.
Women vendors and middle women at Latrikunda Savini Market have listed a number of issues affecting their participation in the country's development. Being one of the biggest and the busiest market within the Kanifi municipality, the work of vendors has direct or indirect bearing to the lives of about 22,000 inhabitants of the area. In some aspects, the work of women here is full of frustration thanks to the absence of multiple choices from them. When Aishatu Damfa did not hesitate to give a brief explanation before she recommended a way out. With 20 years of experience, Aishatu thinks that the issue of price control is a key challenge.
Serun ko wafiro de alhamdulillah. Kono nyintai mo nyin wafiro be kolayat. Imensa kunu sanyimenta mbita imensa no $10. Sign for ya $10 so kafuja findi $20.
Nene Bojang deals in fish, but the availability of enough to put on her vending table is a matter she asks for attention. Any transformation for the better, Madam Bojang will lift hand up for the payment of school fees in addition to her daily household expenses.
Si at buñ joge yaay ñu ko doon joy nak parce que metti won na ba fogone ndax su ci ñi amé dina tane way ba légui tane amut gis nga ni ñay am chance ñibi ñom ñibi nañ waye da ngay mujjé yendu di dakh ngoon gi set na di nga mëna jaay ben paani jit mu nga ko jaay ñaari fan ba ñetti fan.
In the view of Kari Jobate, the sales of vegetable was better in the past, but things have started to change as the country is in itself in change.
Firobe kole yare mbake la man tol febo ñina men san kanadun san kuto men kono an tol fana bela felal de pour ko le falen marchandise wol fana dal be kole yare mbakele ko sun tol ka sam men nan ka san julala bulu nen tol ngala tabulo kan men ka san tol bulo kono wol fana na wosi sembo ka wara bakele.
While the youth and the private sector is obliged to lead a way out to support the value chain in agriculture, government is expected to create a more enabling environment for the participation of all. Without market, no vendor or middleman will go to work, but their absence at work means food insecurity for the entire nation. Reporting for iAfrica TV News, I am Amifai.
The report by Amifai will take us to Somalia because Somalia has begun public consultation on constitutional review process ahead of general elections later this year. The public outcry campaign is a key milestone in the state building process as it will enable Somalis to share their views on issues in the provisional constitution, especially the electoral model and power sharing. The National Independent Electoral Commission assured that elections will be conducted this year. More on that in this report.
More than 100 participants drawn from the civil society, women groups, students and persons with disabilities attended the first public outreach program aimed at seeking a public opinion on the ongoing constitution review process.
When the stakeholders are many, completing the review process becomes complicated. The Constitution is a document that spells out the rights of citizens, and this is why we're doing public outreach to regional administrations, parliament, and the public, including women and religious leaders.
The public outreach program hopes to reach all regions of the country, and by giving the Somali public a say in the constitution review process, authorities in Somalia hope to come up with a document that will be widely accepted by all sectors of society. Finalizing the review of the country's constitution is expected to be completed before the upcoming general elections next year, a critical challenge for authorities tasked with the draft document.
I came here today to listen and raise questions on the process. Young people should be aware of the Constitution, its content and the rights and privileges it offers.
If our rights are not enshrined in the Constitution, then we have no say or right over anything. We are here as physically challenged members of the society to know what the government is offering to us.
The talks in Mogadishu mostly focused on the federal structure of governance and how the country's capital will be governed, as either a federal state or maintain its status as the seat of the central government. Critical issues including the electoral model, power sharing and resource sharing was also discussed.
A lot of compromises have to be reached on matters related to politics between the national government and regional administrations, including finance, taxation and resource sharing. The campaign also hopes to educate people on their constitution and its benefits.
The United Nations has over the years pumped in millions of dollars towards the realization of the document that many say will help solve decades-long grievances affecting various sectors of society.
We will now take a short break and come back shortly for the remaining of our stories. Do stay tuned.
Hi, my name is Amisana, founder and owner of Her Apparel, a mother's clothing brand. Top Startup has been one of the best things that ever happened to my life, if not the best.
My name is Modul Ahmed Fatih, founder, farm manager, ML Poultry. Before Top Startup 2018, this used to be my poultry house with about 200 hens. Today, ML Poultry has just built a new farm with a production capacity of up to 4,000 chickens.
I'm Ivo Lawrence Mendy. I am the CEO and the founder of Cameco. The Top Startup, we're able to register the company in Ghana as a limited, let's Ride Africa Ghana Limited.
I urge every single young entrepreneur out there to give it a try. It's a life-changing experience.
Welcome back. You are watching The World Today on iAfrica TV, and now to the rest of our stories. Justice Amina Cisse Saho of the High Court in Banjul Tuesday adjourned the trial of 8 members of 3 years Judna to Thursday for ruling on the bail application submitted by their legal team. The 8 members pressure group, including chairman, are facing 3-count charges of unlawful assembly, rioting after proclamation, and rioters demolishing structures. When the case was called in today's hearing, State Prosecutor Patrick Gomez applied for it to be adjourned for them to review the case file, justifying that they only received the file from the police on Monday. The accused persons lead defense lawyer Rachel Y. Mendy contested the transfer of the case to the High Court, arguing that there are no proper charge levied against their clients before the Superior Court. She appealed for the court to grant to the accused person, saying the state is attempting to delay the case, but that was denied by the prosecutor Gomez. The presiding judge, however, went ahead and adjourned the case to Thursday for ruling on the bail application. The 8 accused, 7 men and 1 woman, were first arraigned before the Kanifing Magistrates Court last week, but Magistrate P. Sar transferred the case to the High Court in Banjul following an application made by the prosecution that the lower court lacks the jurisdiction to try the matter. Now we head to the U.S. and of course other African countries, because the U.S. Department of Treasury have announced that 3 African countries have reached an agreement to fill the dam reservoir after 5 years of negotiation. The $5 billion dam project, dubbed the Grand Ethiopian Dam, will help the countries to manage prolonged drought. Ethiopia says it might formally join by end of February, when countries involved will have reached a comprehensive deal. Details of that in this report.
The U.S. Department of Treasury, the host of the talks between foreign and water ministers of Egypt, Sudan and Ethiopia, says an agreement has been reached about the filling of the dam's reservoir, which has been the most pressing issue for Egypt.
It's a partial agreement regarding 3 main points. Definitely, the 2 points agreed upon are the most important. Filling the reservoirs is the process where Egypt and Sudan cut portions of their water in favor of the dam, and the operation is how much water Ethiopia will release.
The 3 countries have agreed on a stage-based schedule for filling the reservoir. They've also accepted a mitigation mechanism for the filling and operation of the dam during prolonged drought periods. Egypt has signed the agreement. Ethiopia, however, has postponed its signature till the end of the month.
That sparks fears that Ethiopia might not commit fully to what has been agreed upon in this round. Egypt Foreign Ministry announced that Ethiopia still has remarks that elongates the process of course. The 3 countries, however, agreed on a deadline of 30 days to finalize a deal.
The 3 countries have not agreed yet on a platform to resolve future disputes over the dam's operation. They still need to create a detailed plan to implement their deal and continue studies about the environmental impact of the dam. It was expected to be the final round of talks in these 5-year-long negotiations. Hanging issues, however, have forced the 3 countries to schedule another meeting on February 12. And the deadline for a comprehensive deal has once again been postponed, this time until the end of the month.
Well, there is hope that they will reach a comprehensive deal at the end of this month. Well, viewers, that is all for this news of this edition of The World Today. And I am your presenter, Julden Jai. Do stay tuned for the more interesting stories on our website on www.iafrica.tv. Bye for now and have a pleasant evening.